DNVR Broncos Live, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, coming to you from Studio A here at the DNVR Bar, where the A stands for a legend. Hey. We are joined by a legend
doing a
today.
Okay.
Yeah, a legend, yeah.
A
anything works.
A legend.
A anything, huh?
Yes, exactly.
He kind of cheats his way through that.
I was doing the math in my head. I was like, maybe I didn't go to the right school, but I don't know if legend starts with A. But whatever.
A legend.
Okay.
A two-time Super Bowl champion, A Super Bowl MVP, A Hall of Famer.
Appreciate it, man. It's good to be here. This is kind of a nice setup you guys got here. This is pretty sweet.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it. We're super stoked to have you on, man. And we got our DEFYs going, drinking these. These are delicious.
You gotta hydrate. Get your drink in you. This right here is it's responsible for a transformation. It's responsible for getting you back to a position where I think if the Broncos called me today, I think I'd be ready to roll.
Oh, well, they need you.
Wow.
100%, man. George Payton, if you need another back, I'm here. I can't promise you a whole game. I could probably give you a good quarter. But, situational only, 4th down, 2, 3, something like that, 3rd down.
Sign them up. I mean, that's what they need.
That's all you need, right?
Why don't you tell us a little bit before we get started just about DEFY, what you guys are doing, what you guys are all about?
Yeah, DEFY is a performance brand. It was started based off my experience with CBD, and it really transformed, I guess I'd say, get my swag back, because by 2017, I had kind of reached a point where physically I was limited. I had, from 2001 when I retired, I was on this consistent decline physically. I have a lot of inflammation in my knee, just lots of constant pain, So all that stuff kind of contributed to sort of mental challenges where stress started to become a part of my life, a lot of anxiety. And so you start to wonder, like, physically, is this it? Like, will I ever be, not that I would be the guy that played football, but can I get back to a point where I have an active lifestyle and I can play with my kids and just be able to run around? And I questioned that in 2017. Well, shortly after that, in same year, a friend of mine, was Bo Worley, is our president of DEFY, introduced me to CBD. He was like, hey, man, you might want to try this because everything that you're going through, CBD can help with it. And then my initial reaction was, hey, man, I ain't messing with that, man. That's marijuana. I can't mess with it. Yeah. But as I started reading more articles about it and just kind of doing my homework on it, it became clear that everything that I was going through, CBD allegedly was the cure for, right? It treated those things. So about a few weeks after that, I was like, I'm just going to go for it, man. I just got to try it because nothing else worked. And once I started using it, it became clear that this was what I had been looking for years. Yep. And inflammation started to slowly go away, started giving me back the swag that I had, which kind of became the catalyst for working out more. And once I started getting into that routine again, man, I went from 230 pounds, dropped all the way down to 205. I played at 208, so it was about my playing weight. And then everything, like my relationship, like everything just became better. With my kids, my wife. And now, man, I feel great. I'm attacking everything with energy and excitement every single day I'm out there. I'll be 50 years old, man, in another week. So hitting that big 5-0. But once I started feeling better back in 2017, two things came to mind. One, if it's helping me like this, what can it do for other athletes or anybody that's up there in age who's going through the same things that I was going through? And then number two, there was an opportunity, from a business standpoint. Well, listen, there's no product in the market right now that is the gold standard brand that I can tell you, hey, Zach, hey, hey, Henry, you guys go get this product. I couldn't tell my friends that. So I was like, well, there was a void there. If we can fill that void with this product, then that's what I saw as an opportunity, sort of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So that's what we did. In 2017, we went out, man, did the homework, did everything based off science. Yeah. And in 2019, we launched DEFY. And we launched this drink right here, which is called Recover Now, but it was just called DEFY. And it's a CBD drink. It has no THC in it. It has, it's a coconut-based, coconut water-based drink with a lot of good-for-you things in there. There's only 15 calories or 20 calories in this bottle. And we initially started out to say, we're not a CBD company, so we don't make any CBD products. We are a performance brand that has CBD products, but we also have a lot of non-CBD products. So we have a boost, which is not here. Do you have my boost? You don't have the boost? So it's an energy drink, right? It's like a pre-workout. Do you have it? No, you don't have it? Okay. No worries then. But
Megan just texted me. She said she's coming.
She's coming. Yes, she's coming with the drink. So when she comes, hopefully she has it. But so we created a performance system, right? So it has you wake up in the morning, you kick your day off with this boost, and then you hydrate with our alkaline water during the workout, and then you recover with our recover after. And we also have tinctures and balms and gummies and stuff like that as well. But we are a performance brand, and we designed the performance the DEFY performance system for, again, this is not for athletes. I think people look at our brand and think, well, it's only for athletes. No, it's not. It's for the mom.
That's good news for the three of us.
Yeah, that's great for you.
What are you saying?
Listen, you don't need to be an athlete. You just active lifestyle, or anybody who just wants to feel better. I mean, that's the mom, that's the dad, that's the the policeman, that's the firefighter, that's the teacher, that's the coach, that's anyone who just wants to have a little bit more energy in their day and attack what they do with the best that they have, and that's what our system does.
I mean, you look like you're legitimately in Hall of Fame prime shape right now.
Right on. I like to hear that.
I mean, you said you're about to be 50.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's 45.
Yeah.
You're only a couple years older.
How many times have Tom Brady been hit? Like Tom Brady in his 40, like whatever year, 20. What is it for Tom Brady?
22, 23,
22nd year, 23rd year. I promise you, I've been hit in one training camp more than Tom Brady's been hit in his entire career. I promise you.
100% believe that. And quickly, guys, you can try DEFY at our tailgates. It's great. We have it there every week. And also, you can go get 30% off right now and use the code DNVR at drinkdefy.com.
Go get it.
Great deal, exclusive deal for the podcast appearance today, which we appreciate. And also, if you go follow DEFY, just at DEFY on Instagram, you'll be entered to win a signed TD jersey.
That's right. Nice jersey there. And we are in a lot of different retail stores as well. King Soopers here, Safeway, Albertsons, a lot of the major box chains we're in. Winn-Dixie, Publix, so we're in about 11,000 doors nationwide if you're not here in Denver, and then you can also get it on Amazon as well.
All right, so
the plug. That's my plug.
There we go.
Great plug. We got it out.
All right, now we get to talk about the Broncos.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh,
here we go.
Man, no.
This is how to get you.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, TD, come in here, man. You can talk about your product, man, and then
you get to talk about a whole different kind of product.
Okay, what's the question? What we got?
All right, I want to start here. When the Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett, everyone comes through with the West Coast offense, Shanahan tree, and to Broncos fans, that's music to their ears.
Yeah.
When I hear that, I'm like, I see 30 cutting back, taking the cutback lane, running over a linebacker, and it hasn't looked like that.
No.
And so my question is, did they get away from that outside zone kind of scheme too quickly, and why aren't we seeing kind of the classic Shanahan offense that I think a lot of people were expecting?
Yeah, Ryan, I think we all have the same questions. Like I watched the game, and I think we all were told that that's exactly what they were bringing in, and even Nathaniel Hackett admitted that's where he wanted to go back to. He'd watched when I played, and he loved that system. He loved that era, but we haven't seen it. And what my guess is that there's something going on, and I don't know this for a fact, but if I were to guess, it's Russell doesn't want to run that system. I think there will be a struggle between what Russ wants to do and what Nathaniel Hackett wants to do. Because otherwise, why wouldn't you want to run it? It is a proven system that works. It's one that allows a quarterback to be able to really put a defense in a conflict. Because if you, it's the theory behind this, it's hard to chase down a running game and then immediately turn and get into your zones or cover guys who are doing crossing routes. And that's what we did. And then you have to commit a whole lot of resources to stop the run. Now, it's not going to work overnight. You got to commit to it. When we did the system back in 95, the system wasn't there in 95, as a matter of fact. We installed the system in 96. My rookie year, 95, we ran a lot of traps. We ran what they call dives. We ran what they call a bob, which is two backs are kind of split back. And everything was run like kind of wide. And then everything else was like coming inside. But it was mainly kind of the true West Coast offense, like Roger Craig ran, Ricky Waters ran it. And then we evolved from that to putting me 7 yards deep, allowing me to see the field, and then going more zone blocking up front, which helps the lineman because you're basically blocking areas versus bodies. Right. You don't have an assigned guy, so it's not man. And then we did some gap schemes as well, but not a lot of it. So we did everything, but the bread and butter was we know it was the wide zone. That's where I don't care what the hell you're doing up there. You're not stopping this. Yep. You're not stopping it. So I don't know why they really haven't looked like that. Most of what they do was out of shotgun.
Yep.
And whether it's 3rd down and 1, whether it's 4th and 1, Russell's in the shotgun. And I think we're all like, first of all, you've just eliminated. Once you put Russ in the shotgun, where's the threat of the run?
Right.
Why would you do the defense work for them? Like, I wouldn't do it. I'd always present the run.
Especially on short down.
On short down. Yeah. Where linebackers are on their toes.
Yeah.
Their first step, I mean, you can see them. They're like this. Yeah. But if you're in the shotgun, you don't really pose a threat. You now have linebackers sitting in zones, and they're covering up routes where you want them coming up. So now you can either throw between the linebacker and the safety and the corners. That's the space you want to operate in. And it just hasn't happened. And I don't have I wish I had answers for you. I don't have the answer as to why we're not doing that.
Now, so a really interesting thing you said there was maybe Russell doesn't want to do this. And so when I hear you say that, and when I think about it, the struggle dynamic between running what the coach wants to do, running what the quarterback wants to do, my head instantly goes to, you do what the quarterback wants to do.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do this system, though, maybe do you pull back away from what Russ wants to do and try to take that power away? Or as a head coach, you just say, nope, we're going to do what the quarterback wants to do, and the running backs, offensive line, wide receivers will go with that?
So I coach Little League, flag football. I do.
You guys running wide zone?
No. Well, it's flag. You can it's flag. So
too easy to snag that flag.
Well, we do a little bit of it, but of course you can't block anybody. But we do a little bit.
Didn't you say you have a championship with that?
Of course, man. Of course.
So three-time champion?
Well, I only coached 1 year, so.
Well, you got 2 as a player.
Oh yeah. I gotta get my ring.
Throw that third one on there.
I gotta get my ring. You're right, man. That was the best one, by the way. Flag football.
Oh wow.
No, but what it reminds me is because a lot of times we forget how coaches, or if you've never been a coach, whether you're a little league coach or a professional coach, there is something to having your philosophy and having you got to have a foundation, and then once the foundation is laid, you can veer. But I couldn't imagine going to a situation where I'm allowing the quarterback to dictate what I do. Now we can collaborate on what we're doing.
Right.
But if this is what my fundamental belief is, we need to be doing this, then let's do that, and then we can evolve into what we think, or what you think you want to do. That's just me,
right,
Right. So what this seems to be is, okay, Russell says, and I don't know this for a fact. I'm just speculating.
Totally. You've been an analyst for 20 years.
I've been an analyst, and I've played the game. I've been in locker rooms with quarterbacks, and so it strikes me that this is not what he wants to do. Run that wide zone, have to do bootlegs. Number one, it takes a lot of energy. It's not easy to sit back there and have to run out there and stick the ball on and bootleg every single time. And then you look around the league, and you do see the Aaron Rodgers and the Tom Bradys and guys who are just operating from a phone booth. They're just in a phone booth operating. Now, the speculation that Russell saw that and says he wants to be more like that, I can't confirm it. I've never heard him say that, but it's making sense to me now. Right. That when you start hearing things that Russ says he doesn't want to do it. When he was in Seattle, the big thing was that he wanted to throw the ball more.
Yep.
So if all that is true, and now he's here, and they allowed him to be able to throw, but it's not working, then we need to go ahead and just, all right, let's back this thing up and go back to square one.
Yep.
Let's go back to getting that running game. Let's start helping you. Let's help you, right? Because it doesn't make sense that there's a system that can help. but you got to buy into it and you got to do it.
Right.
So this game would be telling to me. I think this next game, the Jets game, I think it's going to say a lot.
And with that wide zone, one of the reasons you want to run it is because you have Javonte Williams back there. And he's perfect. He can stretch the defense out,
we used
punch
to
and cut him back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We used to have
Exactly.
Javonte Williams.
And so now you have Latavius Murray carrying the ball 15 times in that last game.
Yeah.
That's just not his style, to getting a defense to overcommit outside, open up the cutback lanes. Do you think that could be a part of that, just wanting him to be moving forward?
I don't know, man. It just what's cool about running in that style of offense was it really did suit a lot of different styles.
Huh.
Like you didn't have to, it fit me like hand in glove because I like just being able to have one cut. I'm not a guy that want to do 4 or 5 different moves, and I want to be efficient. Get me downhill, let's go, and then I'll give you a little something on top of that. I had some moves down, but I had a little bit. I can run past you, I can run over you, I can do everything, but it suits not only just my style, but there's other guys that can go in there and run and have success in doing it. But I think ultimately what it does is that when you have the offensive line and the reps that they get with that system, and they just do it over and over and over and over, the efficiency and proficiency that you play with becomes a machine. Mm-hmm. And then you throw on top of that, let's do some bootlegs. Let's throw the ball out of this formation. And it just puts a lot of stress on the defense to have to cover, number one, commit resources to trying to stop the run, but then not knowing when you're going to pull it down and have to defend receivers doing crossing routes. And, by the way, we got a quarterback that can run. Now you have to defend that too.
Right.
And I ain't saying that needs to be every single play.
Yep.
But it gets you on schedule. It gives you your 4 yards here, your 3 yards there. And the philosophy when I was there was 4-yard run was a great run. We're not trying to break it 80 yards, but if we break it 80 yards, it's fine. But 4 yards on schedule, and now you put a defense who hates to be in third. A defense does not like a 3rd and 1, a 3rd and 2. That is that's a nightmare for them because you can pull any play out the playbook on the 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. But when you're in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, there ain't many plays you got to convert that. And so this game to me would be interesting to see if there's more of that. If they go back to kind of I just call it, listen, it's day one install, kind of day one install. That's wide zone. Let's see what they do.
Yep. So
and you mentioned defense doesn't want to see 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, but if they do see it, they prefer to see the offense in shotgun, I assume.
Yeah.
Are we good? Yeah, I mean that's. I try not to react quick to things. I try to let things materialize, and slowly react to it. It's been 6 weeks though.
Yeah.
We've had 6 games, and I don't know. I'm not jumping off the ledge. You jumping off the ledge? Or you ready to jump?
I said mid-week or mid-season. So they got 2 more games.
2 more games, and then if things don't work out, you jumping?
Yep.
Feet first or head first? Which one you
jumping? I hope you're there to
jumping?
save me.
I'm not saving you, man.
No.
You jumping? I'm just saying, you going feet or head? Which one you jumping in with?
Oh man, I mean, wouldn't head be quicker?
Head, yeah.
That would ensure. That would ensure.
It would.
That I don't see the second half of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I said I am usually very patient with this stuff. After the Colts game, I said it's panic time.
Yeah.
And I thought they had a great performance defensively last week, and I think this defense is good enough to keep them in games every single week. But the fact that they're last in the NFL in scoring right now is just mind-boggling.
That's the one that sticks out is you don't mind, and so on this level, there are style points to losing. Like you do get credit. You don't get full credit. You get some credit for losing, and it really does matter how you lose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I played in games, man, where, for example, we played against the playoff game Kansas City in I believe it was 97. Right, first year of the Super Bowl.
Yep.
We lost to Kansas City in December by field goal. we walked off the field like we won the game.
Yeah.
Because we knew, we was like, okay, next time we play them, we know we're going to beat them.
Right.
So you're looking for small wins inside of these losses, and I'm trying to find them. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find the small wins. Like, how do we take this game and dissect it and say, okay, at least we can lean on these things as we go through our season.
Do you think there's something to that, though, in terms of learning to win and having losing habits and that sort of thing? Like, how does a team get from close loss to close win? Because it's such a fine line in the NFL, but it's so obvious that the Broncos right now have a losing problem, right? It's contagious when you lose games like this over and over again.
Like I said, there are things you can hang your hat on and look at it and say, all right, man, even though we lost, we threw for 300 yards. We scored 4 touchdowns. We didn't have any penalties. We defense played well except for these 2 defensive pass interference calls that shouldn't make. I mean, you start doing a list like, okay, check, and those are the things that you start to feed off of. You say, okay, next time we play is if we eliminate this one thing, that's it. That's the difference between winning and losing. Right. How many things can you say about the last couple of games they've lost? Like how? Like
on the offensive side of the ball, none. I mean, we thought we had the first quarter last week. We thought that was going to be something to build on, but then you see 3 other quarters in overtime that are so bad.
I know.
It's hard to remember that first quarter.
And I do think people would be more excited if they were losing these games, 38-35 instead of 13-10.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it does matter how you lose, and then you can say, all right, if the defense, if we 30, 38, 35, okay. We lost, but the offense went out there, they played. And really, that is when you look at everything they've done, it was to improve the offense.
Right. Yep.
Everything they've done was to improve the offense over the last couple of years. And it still hasn't, whether the switch or the spigot, whatever you want to call it, hasn't been turned on. And it's not an easy fix this late in the game. It's just not. You can't go in there and scrap the whole playbook. You just can't.
No.
No one is coming in the locker room who you think can change what's going on. They just have to work and be better at what they're currently doing. Again, they can like the wide zone. That's not nothing new. They have it in the playbook.
Right.
They haven't really leaned on it.
Right.
So just start dialing it up more, and receivers. Everybody's got to feel like they've got to up their game. Every single person on the team.
Right. Well, I've got a few questions about that, but first you got to check out drinkdefy.com.
Yes,
Use
sir.
the code DNVR, 30% off. And also check out us. We've got the tailgate going on for the Jets game this week. Make sure to head to thednvr.com. Get your Defy when you're at the tailgate. So check us out, thednvr.com.
Other drinks you can have at the tailgate, Breckenridge Brewery. If you want to...
maybe you start your day off with Defy, then you go to Breck, then you finish it with Defy. Maybe a good balancing
I was going to
act.
say, if you want to look more like TD, probably drink Defy. If you want to look more like me, drink Breckenridge Brew. Delicious, all in the same. Slightly different effects on the body, but we love Breck Brew as well. We appreciate them hooking us up with beer at the tailgate as well. And as we move into the weekend here, it's probably a good time to have a couple of those.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And also, make sure you sign up for Evoca TV. It's really hard to watch the Nuggets and Avalanche right now. Evoca is your best bet. It's only $25 a month. There's a $5 receiver fee. And if you sign up using the code evoca.tv/DNVR, we get credit for it. So we really appreciate that as well. That new documentary is coming out. We sent our Nuggets guys to Serbia for a week. It's going to be there soon. You're going to want to be able to watch it. So get on Evoca. Go to evoca.tv/DNVR.
All right, TD, you talk about chemistry in a locker room, believing and everything. And one of the big talking points since Russ got here is he really one of the guys? And from everything I've heard about your Super Bowl teams is how many Hall of Famers were on there? 4 Hall of Famers, including yourself?
We got more. We have more. They just haven't been officially
There we go.
enshrined.
I like that. But a lot of gold jackets, a lot of big personalities, a lot of great football players. And from everything I heard, John was one of the guys. Obviously, you were one of the guys. Shin's one of the guys.
Yeah.
How important is it in the construct of a team where one person isn't put put above the rest of the team. And because I have to imagine it's obvious to see it from the outside, I have to imagine inside it's obvious to see too.
But it's different nowadays. It's different, man. It is, and just everything. Not only in sports, but just with all this social media stuff.
Yeah.
Like everybody's. It's hard to compare the two.
That's fair.
But I will say, one of the most, I guess, not endearing, because I guess the most thing that quality that I really respected about John was that.
Yeah.
From day one, when I first saw him, I mean, his short story. When I first got to Denver in '95, I showed up to the facility for off-season workouts, and it was, it's voluntary, mandatory.
Yep.
Workouts.
Back then, certainly mandatory.
Yeah, it was voluntary and mandatory. But I got there in '95, and so you had an option of working out at 7 a.m., 10 a.m., and 1 a.m. As a rookie, I'm like, dude, I'm not working out at 7 a.m. I'll get there at 10. Got there at 10 o'clock, and I'm walking onto the field, walking from the bus to the inside the facility, and I look over at the field. The 7 a.m. group is finishing up. They were doing gassers. And I look over there, and I'm just looking at this dude, and he's like, kind of got a bad body. His knees are all bent in together, and he's got his shirt is off, and he's beating everybody. And I'm watching, I'm like, who the hell is that? And I sit on the bench, and I'm watching them finish their gassers, and I realized who it was. I'm like, that's John Elway? I'm like, what is he doing here? Like, it's the off season, didn't have to be there. He had probably gone to, 4 or 5 different Pro Bowls that went to a Super Bowl. I'm John Elway.
Yep.
But he was at this workout at 7 a.m. working out. And then when I saw that, man, I had instant respect for him as a player. I had never met him before. I had never seen him before, but recognized when he was running. So that point on, that was like one of many things that being around him that I realized that this dude is just – he's Elway to everybody else, but he's just one of the guys.
Right.
He doesn't want to be treated any differently. He doesn't have his locker's not in another room. Yeah. He's not a guy that feels like he can show up late to a meeting, or kind of a diva feel. Yeah. No, that wasn't Elway, and it kind of permeated. Like our whole team was built like that. You think about Rod Smith, Shannon Sharp. You throw me in the mix, Elway. Everybody on those championship teams were like it wasn't about whether we can try to be a diva. It was like, dude, like I'm showing you, we're showing you how it needs to be done. Not telling you what to do, but we're showing everybody how to do it. And to me, that's the best quality of a leader. Yeah, is doing it by example. And you're going to catch a lot more people who wanting to follow you when they see what you're doing. And I've seen John from that point on to games where the dude is just beat up, where he can barely walk. He's got I think he had a torn bicep in one of his last year. But he's going to show up at practice on time. And, we had coaches too, in particular, a coach named Alex Gibbs, if you guys know Alex Smith, Alex Gibbs. If you've heard stories about him.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, he kept, and I had never seen this in my life. And I seen one time where we go through practice, and John hands the ball off to me, and he stops and he's looking at me. And this is during our 9:07 period, which is on Thursday. And so it's about 15 plays we play, and it's all padded up. It's a serious, drill. The next morning on Friday, we always watch it with all the receivers and running backs in the room. And he is chewing John out because he's like, number 7, get your – and I was like – I didn't know. I was like, wait a minute. He's treating Elway like that. Yep. So if he's going to treat number 7 like that, what he's going to do that like everybody else? So he didn't – and so my point is that not only did Elway not act like he was a star, like the coaches never tried to treat him in that fashion either. Right. Which if you start seeing somebody getting – preferential treatment, it builds resentment. Right. Because you're like, wait a minute, dude, like I'm working hard too. Why is he allowed to travel to a game via, whatever he's got, private jet, public transportation, but when everybody else has to come on a plane. Right. And so that was something that we never had to deal with.
Pretty rare for the guys that were on your team.
Yeah, well,
in terms of like just the personalities.
Yeah. I mean, we could have had a lot of guys who did that. Now, I did notice that when we did have players that kind of had that personality, they weren't there. That Mike immediately, it was like over the years, once we found out, it's like they were gone. Like it was a dude named Anthony Miller, who's a hell of a receiver, right? First round draft pick, Pro Bowler. Anthony Miller was like that, and he'll tell you. I mean, but I mean, he's a receiver. I mean, and we're a damn good one too.
Yeah.
But we end up releasing Anthony Miller and then bringing in Rod Smith. And Rod Smith was not, at that time, he was not established. He was just a practice squad guy. But that's the kind of team that we built. And I don't know, man. Are there teams like that nowadays? I don't know.
Well, and you guys played the ultimate complementary football, which I think helped.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting theirs. You were getting yours. Shannon's getting catches. Rod's making big plays. John's, throwing touchdowns. That's also kind of rare.
It is, and the fact that this is the truth, God's honest truth. That if I got into a game and I didn't score a touchdown or have 100 yards rushing, I didn't care. I didn't care. I knew that if that happened, that means that Rod is eating, that means Shannon's eating, that means Ed McCaffrey's eating, that means that whoever is balling. And when you have guys who think like that, Rod didn't care. Rod knew that if he wasn't getting the ball, I was getting mine. So, and we knew we were scoring points and winning. I mean, I'd do anything to win, and we did a lot of winning. We did a lot of that.
You did, and against the Jets, who Broncos are playing this week, you played 4 games against them, 1 in the playoffs.
Did you go back and look at that? Oh. You know that was a game, right?
Well, AFC Championship.
No, not that game.
Okay.
When I tore my ACL.
That's what I said. When we were looking at this.
Yeah. But I don't have too much. I hated that.
A couple of other games you did pretty well, though.
Yeah, AFC Championship, 98, right?
Yep.
I think you had 160-something yards. It was the 6th straight game in the playoffs that you went over 100 yards.
Yeah.
Super Bowl, was your 7th. Yeah. That's the record. I just want to, what was that zone like? When you just knew, playoff game, biggest stage, no one can stop me right now.
I didn't think I just thought.
No way. You didn't feel like that. You didn't feel invincible.
Well, I felt like I was a damn good player, and you gotta be confident.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. For me, it was cool because when we go through our 15 plays right through the week, and then they would script the first 15 plays every week before as we play. And I would look at how many runs that I had in the first 15 plays. And when you see there's 11 runs, 10 runs, to me what that means is they're trusting me with – I mean, you understand the magnitude at which they're putting in my hands.
Right.
And I know it's a team thing, but in that moment – I think they're trusting me with the ball 10 times, 11 times in the first 15. I got to do something with it. It's on me to reward them for doing that.
Yeah.
That was my mentality.
Yeah.
If I saw a game plan that had 3 runs in the first 15,
what are they telling you?
What are they telling me?
What amazes me
I don't think that happened.
What are they telling me? So something ain't right.
You had a game in the regular season against the Jets where you averaged 3.5 yards per carry, but you got the ball 33 times. That just seems so that would never happen nowadays.
Heck no.
And it just shows you how different the game is.
No, but to your point, it's 2 things. Number one, I guess one of the questions that's asked a lot is, would have liked to play in this era? And my response is hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Because to your point, dude, we're not patient.
Right.
No. The first time they give me the ball and I'm averaging 3 yards a carry, I'm getting 8 carries.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
We're going to start throwing the ball all over the yard, being a little bit more efficient with it. So no, there's no patience in today's game.
Right.
So for me, to see what you just said and have 30 carries and only averaging, but that was what we were doing. We knew that eventually, not only running a football would just wear on a team, but it does a lot of things. It keeps the defense off the field. It makes them have to. I mean, guys don't want to, especially up front. If they're doing all that and you're still getting 3 yards a carry, it's working. That means that we're going to be throwing the ball should be the play action should work. We should better get the ball in the air. But I also think that that's a result of us losing to the Jaguars in '95. And I think Mike Shanahan said he will never be in a game where me or whoever's back there, where I get the ball fewer than 15 times a game. Like it was always going to be in the 30s.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, really quick, in that game, you put up 30 points. So there you go. I mean,
3 yards of carry.
That was against the Jets?
Yep.
It was not the
playoff game?
Not the playoff game. In the regular season.
Oh, that was actually in 2000.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so that was my first game back. That was my first game back after I tore my ACL, right?
How did that feel? 33 attempts in that game.
But I think if you look at the thing, I think I was out after that game. I think I missed. As a matter of fact, I know I did. I missed time after that game. With I either had a shin, a stress fracture in my shin, or a high ankle sprain or something, and I missed some time. That was after the ACL, man. It was just not. It wasn't fun after that. No, just dealing with injuries and rehabbing every morning, and spending time at the facility. You're the first one in at 4:00 in the morning, and you're just and you rehab and you try to go to practice, and you're just not. There's just things that are off.
Do you think that's a result of just the fact of how much wear and tear you had taken before the ACL, so that after that it was just harder to come back? Because I look at what Javonte is facing right now, with not just his ACL but basically his whole knee, and I hear that from you, and it's worrisome.
No, but what it was I came back too soon, and when I came back, I was trying to get back because I felt I owed it to my teammates and coaches, and so I wanted to come back for them, and then ultimately, you want to come back to play for yourself.
Yeah.
One thing you can't rush is you can do all the training you want to, rehabbing, but your body knows when it's ready, and I wasn't ready, and I was trying to come back prior to that, and so what it did was it actually affected my left knee because I was, trying to everything I would do, I would just I didn't see it, I didn't know it until I saw it on tape, where I was favoring my left side. I wouldn't cut on my right, and then just that wore down my left knee, which messed up my ankle because I wasn't able to get my legs to turn fast enough in the game. And I remember being in games and I'm sitting there and I'm literally choreographing my moves. I'm thinking in my mind, okay, I got to open up with this, and I'm so much worried about physically how I'm gonna do it, where I can't think about making people miss.
You're thinking instead of playing.
I'm thinking, you got to react. Yeah. It's not a game of thinking; it's a game of reacting.
Yeah.
Especially as a running back, and I wasn't able to do that, and that went on for 3 years, and I never got back to the guy who could just play and not think about his ankle, his knee, shin, whatever it was. It just never came.
What's it like now when you see somebody like Javonte go down with a knee injury?
Well, it depends. I think he had 2 things torn. I think he had his
three. The LCL.
Yeah, that's a lot.
PLCL.
So
Yep.
What you want to hear is it was a clean tear, and nothing else was damaged. So now you have 3, and at this point, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't know. Obviously, they've gotten better with procedures and being able to do it faster and clean it up. So hopefully my advice to him would be come back on your own time, right?
Yep.
Your own time frame. Don't allow the doctors or people to tell you you're ready to play when you're not.
Right.
It's like Jamal Murray for the Nuggets, right? I mean, he tears it all last year. Everyone's saying he's coming back.
The medical staff clears him.
Yeah, and he just said, I'm not ready.
Right.
He wasn't, and he's not ready. So no one, I don't care how many surgeries a doctor or a professional has done, it's not your body.
Right.
And to me, if I can do it again, I would have missed probably, it was a 99, I would have missed 2000. I would have just been like, I'm not ready. It's not ready. Because I really knew it after in 2001, the difference when you're a 5 for a long time, when you're a 7, that feels great. You feel like, but you're not 100%. You're not 10.
Right.
And I was a 3 for a long time, and I was like, oh, this 5, 6 feels good.
Yeah.
But it still was there was still something a little off, but it still felt good enough where I could play.
Right.
But it was just barely. It was only it was just I was healthy, but I wasn't like in football strength conditioning shape to where I can take on tacklers, run through tackles and be able to be effective.
Right.
I was just a body out there just going through the motion and trying to survive, and that didn't do me any service. That didn't do the team any justice. I remember watching tape and watching film, and I'm like, God, that dude. I look horrible out there. Just look bad.
Horrible for you, for your standard.
I think the coaches knew it too. The coaches knew it. I think they were just trying to. I think they were just giving me the benefit of the doubt, understanding that I did come off ACL, and they felt that I can work through it.
Right.
That never happened.
Well, and I think it's just a really good reminder for all of us. Right when Javonte went down, we said, don't expect him back at the beginning of next year. And maybe we even need to push that a little longer, especially with how bad the injury was.
Did you also feel at the time like John's gone, so now it's supposed to kind of be my show,
Yeah.
like I got to get back for them?
And I didn't like that, to be honest with you, man. There is a natural progression in sports, and the assumption is that when you're one of the best players, you have to be a leader, a vocal leader. That was never wasn't my deal. And so I was really comfortable with being a leader by example. Like I want to go show you how you should play. I don't want to talk to you about it. And so when John left, I remember Gary Kubiak coming up to me and telling me that I'm the leader now, and I need to talk to the guys, bring the team up, and like that wasn't what that's not my deal.
Yeah.
That wasn't my deal, and I don't believe you should put people in that position. Like if you want to say something to the team, go ahead. If you don't, then don't.
Yeah.
And it really was kind of weird because before the game, the only thing I'm thinking about is what the hell am I going to say to this team? What the hell am I going to say to them?
You're thinking not
I'm thinking, like that's one more thing I got to think about.
Yeah.
Is what the hell is my pregame speech going to be to them?
Yeah.
You got that pregame speech pretty dialed in for the flag football team, though?
Oh, I got it. Oh yeah, they're good now. But back then, I'm like, I don't want to think about that. So the dynamics changed, and it became, remember too. So John retired. I think Shannon left a year after.
Yeah.
So Steve Atwater was gone. Like you started looking at all the guys that were there.
Yeah.
Rod was still there, and Ed was there. We still had guys there, but again, so when you start putting people in different positions, you lose the depth of your leadership,
Right.
and you lose the stuff that no one saw was the locker room stuff, and walking into that locker room and having Shannon in that locker room every day was I could sell tickets to that show.
I bet you could.
I could sell tickets to the show, and people think Shannon was like the only guy that was. No, we had guys like Keith Burns, Alfred Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Keith Traylor. It was really the comedy. It was a comedy store every morning, and I would show up early just to watch the comedy stuff because we sit in the locker and they would just go at it.
Yeah.
Go at it. It would just be the funniest stuff ever. But we won. We enjoyed it. We had a fun time. It wasn't work for us.
Right.
We played hard, but we made it fun where you wanted to be there. You wanted to show up early, and you didn't leave early either. You stayed late.
Yep. Well, you want to go over to drinkdefy.com, use that code DNVR to get 30% off. That's something that you definitely don't have to think about.
No,
just check them out
30%
over at
off.
drinkdefy.com and use the code DNVR. Also, check out our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook, where you bet $5 on any NBA team, and they win. You get $200 free in your account. That's DraftKings. Use the code DNVR when you sign up, and make sure to see the terms in our show notes.
The American Raptors are back at Infinity Park in Glendale. Definitely go check them out. You can also follow along with Colton Strickler at DNVR Rugby. They got podcasts. He's writing about all that stuff. And like I said, they're going to be back here this week. So go get your free tickets at AmericanRaptors.com.
Boom. All right, Allie, I know we have a couple super chats. We will get to those. We probably won't have time for all of them, but we'll let a couple of you guys. I'll let Allie pick a couple of her favorites to get in. Quickly, I want to know this. When you think of your career in just first thing, like when I say your favorite moment, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Oh, that's easy. That is the final play of Super Bowl 32 where John Mobley knocks the ball down from I think Mark Chamorro is trying to catch that little over route, little shallow cross, and Mobley comes over and knocks it down. And the reason is my favorite is because that really was, I mean, that was it. Like we started the season in July, and that was a final play that the culmination of everything we've done. And when you realize that that's it, and there's no game tomorrow, we're not going to play another team, and like we won it all. We did it. We took it from July all the way till January or February or whatever.
Yeah.
February. But that was it, man. That was the final play.
And that's 2-a-days in training camp, 3-a-days.
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
So, I mean, the grind was real. Speaking of those championships, how often do you wear the rings?
I wear them if I'm going to some type of if they ask me to bring them to an event. I did bring them out for my flag football team. I had to motivate them a little bit.
Were they putting them on their wrists?
Yeah.
No, I did. I broke it out, man. We were the Broncos, and so we won, and I got them like big old, like those big old, those Dookie chains.
Yep.
With the Broncos on it.
Yep.
So it was fun, but showing them the rings before we played our playoff game.
Oh, that's too cool.
It was cool, and I figured it would be a cool moment for them to see it and be able to, kind of inspire them, like not only for this game but just life, right? Like you never know that some of those guys might be pro football players at some point, but I figured, and I kind of stole it from Mark Schlereth when the Stink one time when we were in Denver, he broke out his Washington Redskins at the time ring, and I had never seen one in person until he broke it out, and just a little bitty jabs of motivation that gave me and everybody in the room, I'm sure. It's like, man, I want one of those.
Yeah,
I want it.
Man, that's cool.
And we actually that thread is actually cool the way it's kind of worked out, because I think it was DeMarcus Ware who hadn't won in 2015. I forget who it was. It might have been Peyton or someone else who they had, the Broncos bring one of the Lombardis that you guys won, and they brought it out the night before the Super Bowl, and said kind of, this is what we're playing for. Like,
let's go get ours.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to say a word. If you put that trophy up there the night before the game, and Mike Shanahan was just he was brilliant, man, in the way he knew how to. He played the instrument, man. I think of Mike Shanahan as like a musician, and he's got all these instruments, right? He's got the drums, he got the guitar, all that stuff. He got saxophone, and I'm serious, man. And as a leader, you have to know how to do that, because everybody has got a different personality. Yeah. There's different things that motivate you, and he knew. And one thing that stands out to me was the night before we played the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl, and all he did, he played a highlight tape, and the highlight tape was played to the song "When We Were Kings," and apparently it was it was like a soundtrack for a movie, and it was the right tune at the right time. He played that note, and all he did was play the video the night before at our team meeting.
Was it your guys' highlights?
Yeah, it's our highlight from the first game of the season all the way till that game. And watching the highlights, man, I think a man to a man, he didn't say a word. He just played it. He played it, and after it was done, he said, "All right, guys, let's go show the world what we're about." And it was quiet. Normally, after our team meetings, everybody's getting up there talking, screaming. It was quiet. But I looked at I looked around, and everybody I know felt the way I felt.
Right.
Like inside, man, I felt like the game need to start now. Let's go. Like I was fired up. It was quiet. We left that day, but that to me was I look back at that video and what it did for our team, and not being cocky, but I knew we was going to win. There was no doubt we were going to win that game.
You guys were, I believe, 10-point underdogs.
13 points, I believe.
You haven't forgot that.
I believe it was 13. I think they gave them 13 on us.
Man, I didn't even see the video, and I'm ready to run through a
I'm
wall.
trying to tell you.
I think me running through a wall would be a little different than you running through a wall.
It's going to take him a few more tries.
Yeah.
Probably.
So the next year, though, what's that like? Because now you've done it. You've been there before. It's not this like we're chasing our first ring. Like, I look at the Avalanche in Denver who are kind of dealing with the same thing right now. What is that like to defend and also like not necessarily have that maybe a chip on your shoulder or whatever, feeling like you have something to prove?
Yeah, we never had the old chip on the shoulder thing. It works, but I think it depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you want to win one, the chip on the shoulder works. Mm-hmm. But it also, we're all human, and so there is a diminishing return on things like that because we all get fat, right? We eat and we get full. Tom Brady seems to have played that chip game for a long time, but it takes a lot of energy to look at people and think, oh yeah, you don't respect me, so we're gonna play. Our thing was very simple, man. Like we just focused on very basic stuff.
Yeah.
Like we go into a game like I didn't feel like we needed any extra motivation that year to win it, but we felt like we were a good enough team, and if we did what we had to do and not worry about the other team and bring it and it was key that our stars performed. And John had to play, I had to play, Shannon. We do that. We felt like we could beat anybody. We just had a mentality that we gonna win, and we like winning. Winning was good, it was fun. But what I did recognize was every game felt like it was a playoff game.
Yeah, because everyone's coming for the champs.
Every game was the game where you were getting the best out of everybody, and we actually liked that. I loved it. Yeah. I love the competition. I love going into a game knowing that you've given us everything you've got, and you still can't beat us.
That's what I was going to say. 14-2, and everyone
you gave us everything you had,
Yeah.
and you still can't beat us.
Yeah.
So, and Michael Irvin says this a lot. Now I'm stealing this from him. He says, if you want to beat a man, you attack his weakness. If you want to break a man, you attack his strengths. We were breaking teams, and I don't think people understand what that feels like to be on the field and know that, okay, we're about to line up and run the ball again. You can't stop it.
Right. Yep.
You can't stop it. And to see the looks in some of these guys' face of defeat when they know, and that's really when you can throw the ball on a team all you want to, you can beat them, and you can sort of embarrass them. But when you physically zap them and you're physically moving them off the line of scrimmage and pushing them back, that's a different defeat right there. That's a different defeat.
Physical and mental.
Oh, my God.
You get them on both.
Yes.
All right, so this is our last show of the week. And usually on our last show of the week, we give our picks for all of the AFC West games. You want to join us on that?
I haven't even seen the games, but I'll pick.
All right, that's a good sport.
I told you, man. I've been on the TV. I was on TV 20 years. I've been on a sabbatical, but I'll play your game.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's save the Broncos for last. We're starting with. I'm pulling it up here. The Chiefs going into San Francisco playing the 49ers.
Chiefs going to San Francisco. I would have said the Niners, they just got way too many injuries right now.
That's insane.
I actually picked them last week to beat the Falcons. The Falcons are gritty, man. They're gritty. They're a gritty squad. I'm not going to do that again. So I think Mahomes, I mean, they're still dangerous, man. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to go Chiefs. I think Chiefs win this one.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Talked to James Palmer today. He said he's covering that game. He said the 49ers have two healthy defensive players. Going up against Patrick Mahomes, good luck. So, I'm going Chiefs as well.
Yeah.
I want the Chiefs to lose.
Of course.
But I've just lost so much money on saying that they're going to lose. I have to take the Chiefs. I learned my lesson.
You learned your lesson. All right.
I learned my lesson.
I'm shocked because Vegas has this as a 2.5-point spread.
Yep.
And that just seems so easy.
They're giving the Chiefs 2.5?
No, they're giving the Niners only 2.5. Now they are at home.
Oh.
But it just
It seems wrong.
It's gonna. I don't know.
That might move.
I would think.
That might move depending on who's up and down. But
it's going to be a closer game than I think a lot of people think, but I can't do it. I'll take the Chiefs.
Earlier the week you were telling us you were going to pick the 49ers. Wow, TD gets here.
Stick with it, right?
No, as soon as it was James who scared me off of it.
Okay. All right, the next one. We got the Seahawks facing the Chargers in L.A. Think the Chargers go to 5-2?
Nah, the Chargers. I'm not impressed with the Chargers. I'm just not. I know they've obviously they're on the. Yeah, I watched them. I just I
They're
think
the Chargers.
I'm going Seahawks. Yeah, they're the Chargers, man. Just give me the Seahawks. I'm going Seahawks.
I mean, you sound like RK here.
Yeah, so that's what I say every week.
Just fades the Chargers every week because they're just the Chargers.
It does feel like you just kind of were left speechless. You can't explain what's wrong with them other than they're the Chargers. Like there's always something with them that they're too many penalties or drop passes or an untimely fumble or a missed kick. Somehow it didn't work for the Broncos that way last week, even with a injured kicker. But I'm with TD here. I'm going Seahawks.
You going Chargers?
Yeah, I got to take the Chargers.
I am as well.
Yep.
The better team. I'm going to roll with them.
Yep.
All right, we got the Texans playing the Raiders. Raiders, their 1-4 record, very last in the AFC.
And then they play the Texans too.
Yeah,
They are.
Where?
in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Ordinarily, I would pick anybody to beat the Texans, but I can't pick the Raiders. I
A man with morals.
I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
it.
Give me the Texans.
I love it.
Who you got?
I think the Raiders are going to win this one. I think they finally do, but if not, oh boy, I'll be cheering for
I
the
am
Texans.
praying that they don't win this game. Okay?
Yes.
Their misery is my joy. I'm telling you, boy.
We're right
I
there
think
with
Davis Mills is getting back on track. Big Davis Mills game.
you. Wow,
I got
so you're
the
going
Texans.
Texans. You
Yep.
going Texans?
Ooh, I was kind of hoping I could get one on both of you guys
Wow.
here.
What you guys got a little competition going?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where's the standings? I didn't see the.
We got
don't
them right
we don't need to
here.
look at those.
Ryan is in last place. Yeah,
okay.
but we're all below 500. Hank and I are one game above him.
So Ryan, then you need to go opposite every time then to catch up,
Well,
right?
I already went opposite of you guys on the Chargers, so I can get one there.
Yep.
I'll pick one up on Zach here by taking the
I
Texans.
can't believe you guys are giving me the Raiders. I can't believe it. And then
Josh McDaniels Raiders. You just
that's true. That's true.
That's
you have to stand for something in life.
See, that's the most embarrassing part about this whole thing, about us losing to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Is we had a chance to smack Josh McDaniels right in his face,
Yep.
and
Keep them winless. Yep.
not only winless. I think that would have been the final nail. You
Could've
can't go
been.
0-4.
Could've
You can't.
been.
Yeah.
No.
Can't
no.
go 0-4
With the
still.
talent they have too.
Yeah, the season would have been over.
Yeah, I think so too. And then final one. Is the season over after this Sunday for the Broncos playing the Jets? TD?
Heck no.
There we go.
Heck no.
Love it.
Heck
Love
no.
it.
We
What's
going
the
Broncos,
score?
baby. I think we'll get in the 20s this time. I'll give us, and I'll say 27.
Love it.
27. I'll put the Jets at 27 to 20.
Man,
that's
the
where I'm going.
Broncos could so desperately use a 27-point win at home.
Nice.
27 points. Yes,
I think
indeed.
27-10 was that AFC Championship game.
Okay, nostalgic. You went back on
You
it.
following that?
I am going to go less points for the Broncos, less points for the Jets. This Broncos defense is just so good. I am going to say the Broncos hit their magic number plus a little bit.
Okay.
I'll go 17-7.
Wow.
And people still won't be happy.
No, people won't be
No,
happy
they would.
with
No,
that.
they would not be happy.
But
No,
a
they would
win
not.
would keep them alive,
Yep.
keep us alive. Henry?
Are you guys talking to the team at all before the game, or is it just the ceremony at halftime?
I think it's just a ceremony.
Okay.
I'm not aware of any
okay.
pregame.
Sounds good. I'll still
By
take
the
Broncos.
way, my pregame speeches to pros in college is not very good. The results are not
Okay.
good. So I tell any coach, if you want to bring me in to talk to a team before a game, that the history does not favor that.
If
break
you were
out
going to
the
pick
Shanahan video.
one of
I
your,
mean, not that I don't. I mean, I give some excellent pregame talks, but
The records
result-
after.
the records
don't
after
follow.
it's
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to it. They go.
if you had to pick one of your teammates to give that speech to the team, who would you pick?
Somebody that doesn't talk a lot. Let me see. I need somebody just to. I mean, Elway was good. Elway, yeah, there you go, Elway.
All right.
There we go.
That's what he did.
There
he
we
did
go.
that.
Man, it's going to be a fun weekend for you guys. You guys have
Yeah,
events this weekend?
It should be.
Get back with
I'm
the
looking
crew?
forward to seeing some of the fellas, man. Getting with them and just kind of catching up. It's been a long time, 25 years to our first Super Bowl, and now we get to see guys and what they're doing, and it's always we actually keep a text thread with a lot of us.
Does it have a name? The Super Bowl champs?
I wish I could publish it. I wish I wish I could take this
That's
this
even better.
information, and but I'm held to secrecy on this thing.
That's
I
fair.
can't share with any outsiders. But
Fair enough.
it is fun.
Well, and that's so cool for it. You guys will always have that bond, and
Yeah.
you'll always have these reunions, and you'll always have that chain going.
Yeah, yeah. Look, it's funny, man.
Love it.
We're all
Honoring
good.
a Super Bowl, I'll say Broncos win 16-10.
There we
Yep,
go. There we
16
go.
again.
16,
Another
10?
16.
That magic number.
Another
Yep.
16. Yep.
I'm unfortunately going to pick up a game on all of you.
You're gonna pick the. Oh my
Broncos are
god,
getting
this guy. Dude.
Broncos are getting 16 points. Jets are getting 19.
Oh, that's
no,
the same
dude.
score as
What
last
What
week.
make,
It
what,
is.
let me ask you a
It is.
question, though, Zach. What's your thinking with the Jets?
I don't have anything. I don't have anything with the Jets.
Are you
just-
no? Are you buying the Jets right now? Are you convinced
No,
that this
no,
is this?
No.
Okay.
I mean, what's incredible about the Jets is they've had a quarterback in the past 3 games who has 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, and they're 3-0.
Yeah.
I think they have a really good team around it, but you got to have the quarterback, especially now.
Yeah.
But I think they're playing really good team football.
That's
which is something that
that
the
is
Broncos
true.
are playing great defensive football. You just can't say that about the offense at all.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time imagining how Zach Wilson is going to succeed against this defense.
It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
He holds the ball so long. You've got Bradley Chubb and Baron Browning playing the way they're playing. That's just terrifying.
Here's a fun stat, and reason the Broncos would win it if they do win. Zach Wilson last week held the ball the longest of any quarterback last week. The Broncos get to the
believe it.
passer quicker than any team.
Opportunity. There you go.
Let's go.
Opportunity.
So there's the bright side.
And you cannot screw up our day, all right?
No, you
cannot mess up the day when
There
you
we
bring
go.
back
There we
the
go.
97, when you honor it. Well, they did it last year. They messed up Mike
They
Shanahan's day.
did.
Against the
Don't
Raiders.
don't bring that
was
back.
bad.
Don't
Yeah,
jinx
no, against
it.
the Raiders, like you said, even worse.
Hey, all I'm saying is you got to know your past. You got to know your past.
You do. And,
So you don't repeat it.
I hope I'm wrong. And for TD, and make sure to go to drinkdefy.com. Use that code DNVR.
Man, appreciate you coming on so much.
This was
was
good,
Thank
fellas.
you.
Appreciate
This
it,
is
man.
great.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy this weekend, and we don't have time for super chats. I'm
Maybe.
sorry.
Oh.
We'll hit him. We'll hit him later.
Next time.
I'll just
Next time.
this one says thanks TD for helping us remember why we're fans.
Oh,
There we
appreciate
go.
That's
it.
very
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
There you go.
Love
That's
it.
special.
Love it.
Thank
All
you very much.
Again, thank you. Enjoy your
Yeah.
weekend, and we will catch you guys after the game.